Yeah.
There you go.
Now I would just like to illustrate what happens when you trim a pot that has sand in it, in this case WSO. And anytime that you stir up the surface by trimming away some of the clay and leaving a rough surface, unless you burnish this surface back in and push this all black in, and when you put terra sigillata on the top of this, you're going to have a problem getting it to buff, because you can see how rough it is between the two surfaces there. Now, I'm going to illustrate that a little more here with by trimming this some more. And I'm just finishing the foot. And it's going to show a very rough texture by removing the clay and exposing the gritty sand as part of the clay body. So in order to use your terra sigillata on top of this, you've got to burnish the piece and get it the sand pushed into the clay body so that there's nothing on the surface here. So I'm just finishing this up here a little bit, and I'll illustrate this by wetting this surface a little bit and winding up with a more finished surface. So I've got a sponge here. I'm going to wet this surface down here a bit, and then I'm going to use my stainless steel rib, which I'm going to press against the body and push all this gritty sand. You can see that gritty sand, and you can see where it's starting to be pushed in and smoothing out that surface. When this is bone dry, I will then apply my terra sigillata, which will then have a nice smooth surface without any problems with the clay body underneath, giving it a rough, coarse texture. So anytime you have a surface that has sand or grog in it and you trim it for whatever reason, in this case I trimmed my foot in there and I've exposed the body to where it was really rough, and now just with a little effort from the stainless steel rib I've smoothed all that out, and now it's ready to dry, to bone dry. I will apply my terra sigillata and have a nice smooth surface, and none of this material will be coming through. You can see it's smoothed out fairly well right now. You can see the whole surface is now smooth and ready to dry. I'm just gonna so you can see it's just with just a little effort, you've eliminated a whole problem of having this rough surface to apply this terra sigillata, which will give you a nice soft burnished effect. So if that's any help to you when using a grog body, in this case this is a raku piece, it can be a pit fired piece, it can be a sawdust fired piece or anything, but the WSO seems to work well for me, and I have no problems with thermal shock with that bit of sand in the body.